I'll throw the people that don't like Trump's behavior a bone and say, I think everyone agrees with me. Like most people agree that, like, especially the comments he made about women before coming into the office and whole yards, like that's not good stuff. We don't want that.
Yeah.
But when you look out at a society where you had a rapper named Mac Miller, you familiar with Mac Miller?
Yep.
Write a song that I used to sing and used to love called Donald Trump. I'm on my Donald Trump swear word, swear word, vulgarity, grabbing women's butts, the whole 9 yards, vulgarity. I'm on, Donald Trump. Our society loved this song.
Yeah.
And then we got him for president. And everybody revolted because it was a mirror to society. He is a mirror for we the people right now. God says, this was your number one man on Billboard in a song because of all that he stands for. You guys worshiped the idea of this man. Here he is for your president.
Yeah.
And it just exploded the hypocrisy. It exploded the self-righteousness. And so I'll throw you a bone. I'll say, yeah, we should want better. We, the people, have to be better if you want better for a president.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a beautiful way of putting it. Absolutely. Because you're right. We loved, everybody either loved or knew Donald Trump for a long time before he became elected president. And then you're right, he became elected president, and hated him. But you're right, we hate him because he's a mirror of us.
He's a mirror, and
we hate Congress because they're a mirror of us. We look at all this dysfunction in Washington, and we say that's like, it's disgusting. It's like it's so depraved. It's so awful. Why can't we get anything done? It's like,
we put them in there.
We can't get anything done. We're like that. We're all like this.
When Trump walked across the White House lawn after those nights of protest and held that Bible up, that to me was God pointing at the church and be like, you better get it back now. Like, it's your duty to get this back now. And I'm using this guy. Because that's who I am. I redeem even this guy, and I will use whoever I use for my purposes to tell you, those of you who are humble enough to see this is for what it is, because most of the woke church that won't look at that for what it is can't get past his behavior, and there they are hypocrites and self-righteous.
Yes.
It's over.
And
that's one of the problems that we have right now. Which people I don't think are really paying attention to because they're just so concerned about getting Trump in right now, which I'm, personally, I'm voting for Trump. I'll say it right now.
Yep, me too.
But in what you just said, I would put, if Trump's here, if Trump is, as Charlie Kirk has said, if Trump's the bodyguard for America right now, like if he is all I know how to do is take a Bible across the street from this burned out church and hold up this Bible and say, this thing right here. And everyone was mad at him for this. And the church came out and said, whatever about his faith. The dude knows the importance of that book.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, he knows the importance of that book, and he knows the name Jesus Christ. I just saw another interview where people were praising him, and he said, no, that guy. And he says, Jesus Christ. I don't think, as far as I'm aware, Trump has saving faith, but he is the front line of axiomatic. The right has something to do with Jesus in the Bible.
Yes, exactly.
And then Charlie Kirk is one step back from that, where he's got more, like if it was, the debates really showed this well. We saw exactly what I just said, Trump versus Biden. It was terrible. I mean, just two old men bickering at each other. If you threw a Charlie Kirk up there, you'd have a more detailed discussion. You'd get into some more of the values and stuff. But like you said, there'd be a vacuum behind a certain point.
Right.
Everything beyond that is where the church needs to be filling in.
Absolutely.
And then getting back up to that front line.
Right. Trump is kind of the example of a secular and yet God-fearing civil magistrate.
Yes.
He's the example of a guy who's like, well, he doesn't have saving faith, but he at least understands that what the church says. He understands what the Bible says somewhat, and that it's important. He doesn't understand all the nuance of it, and he doesn't understand the main message of it. You might say the meat of it, but he's got some grasp of the issue that's going on.
Right. And to your point, real quick, also, I was looking up on my phone while you were talking. You mentioned Trump being this kind of secular, God-fearing, civil magistrate. That's, again, straight out of the Bible, King Cyrus. King Cyrus literally lets the Israelites come back in to rebuild their temple. I think he actually even helps them with resources and stuff like that, and provides for them means to come back in and do God's work. So literally you have an example in the Old Testament of God using a civil magistrate for his favor to accomplish his purposes, even though that civil magistrate was certainly not talking about Jesus Christ, although Jesus wasn't around. But point being, that civil magistrate was used by the will of the Lord to do that. And